Alright guys, welcome back to the shop. It is 8 o'clock Sunday morning and we got some hay to unload after a while and some more hay to get up. But yesterday I got in here and run my heater hoses and run into an issue. I was going to go ahead and put the orifice in the evaporator, and as you see, the evaporator is not there any longer. I had to take it out because for some reason, sometime or another, the evaporator outlet tube where the orifice goes got bent, and I couldn't get the orifice out. So I tried to straighten it up as best I could, but the orifice is still in there, and you can see it's pretty much messed up. And then I decided to take a drill bit to try to bust that orifice up, and ended up drilling a hole through it. Now, they do make a repair kit that you basically cut this off and it crimps with a compression fitting. It adds another length of pipe to it, but I decided, as old as this evaporator is, there's a date on here somewhere. Evaporator, yeah, there it is, 84. It's just best to just go ahead and replace it. That way I ain't got to worry about it leaking because it's untested. So I've ordered a new evaporator core for it, and I got the AC Delco factory OEM at Rock Auto for, I think it was 120 bucks for the AC Delco. I could have got, I think 4 Seasons was running about $70 something. But hey, why not just go ahead and spend extra money and get a good one? Anyway, so I'm waiting on my evaporator to come in. Luckily, I was able to remove it without removing the whole box. I did have to unbolt 2 bolts, 3, I think maybe 4 bolts. Either 3 bolts, and plus that took that one out over there, and was able to get it out. But going back in, I'm probably gonna have to end up putting some more caulk on this box to go back in with it. But yeah, I'm glad I run into that issue prior to putting the fenders on. Still wished I'd caught it ahead of time. I didn't even think about it. I flushed it out, but I didn't even think about that orifice while I was flushing. I was wondering why I wasn't getting a whole lot out. Then I remembered the orifice. So when I got ready to put the orifice in, I was going to flush it out again once I got the orifice out, and then plumb everything up. But unfortunately, it's going to delay me a few days getting back on this engine. I didn't have to take I already had the heater hoses run. I didn't have to take them loose from the heater cord, but I thought I was going to end up having to pull that whole box off, so I went ahead and took them loose. And so today we're going to move on to the final stage of the front clip, which is of the fenders. And yesterday evening I got out here and washed the fenders off good and just laid them in here to dry. And we had some pretty good runs in that paint. And so today I'm gonna get them out and sandblast the areas that need sandblasting. I've still got to do, I think most of this will sand out. I don't know what that is. It's rough. And this old tape line here, I tried to take my scraper and scrape it off, but it didn't really want to come. I ended up scraping some big hunks of epoxy off, and that paint just came off with it. It's a little rough around the edges, and I'm kind of hoping that it ain't bondoed. Kind of feels thick right in there. So we're gonna get this out there and do a little spot sandblasting, mostly on the bottom side of it. Then we'll have to wash it out again, let it dry again, and do the same thing with the other fender. Alright guys, welcome back. It is Wednesday evening. Just got some parts in from Rock Auto. Here is my AC Delco evaporator. Looks like one of the caps came off. Should have went right there. This thing looks like it was made last month. So I guess the next thing is to put this core back in, and the straight pipe's gonna go on the bottom, curved pipe on the top. We're just going to try to slide it in place without trying to get all this gook all over everything. Now this thing's got tabs that's supposed to bend over and attach where these two pieces attach. So we're going to bend these tabs up. We'll have to slide it up a little bit to get the holes lined up. I need to make sure I got my rubber, my caulk is still pretty much, for the most part, attached to the firewall. Just need to kind of move this out of the way here. I'm going to double check. Make sure. It looks like I might be missing some caulk in places, but it should be still on that. So we're going to slide this in. This was a little bit tricky to get out. Just a little bit tricky. I got to remember exactly how it come out, because I got to go back in the same way. Down low. It's kind of hitting on my oil filler dipstick. My oil dipstick over here. It's just really all over it. So that ain't gonna work right there. I did have this heater hose out of my way and I took this thing off, so that might have an effect on me. I just slide it down this way, around this filler. Kind of on my stud down here, I got to come over a little bit. There it goes. And we'll get these lined back up, these studs. Kind of, I think I got to kind of tweak it, get it in. That started, I'm going to just get this one started. And no one start. Just having to feel my way, figure out where I need to go with this thing to get this stud lined up with a hole. It feels like I need to move this stud down some. studs lined up now to line everything else up. Alright, so now we got to line our mounting tabs up in these holes right here. There ain't no way this mounting tab gonna fit, or this screw gonna fit in this damn tab hole. No way. Work. Looked like it was 2 tabs. You know what? I think this thing's slotted, and it needs to be. The other tab needs to come out this one. Yeah, that was the problem. This is the same way. So there's 2 little tabs on here, and they got a little slot. When you fold them out, there's a space in between them, and that screw's supposed to fit between that space. I'm glad I figured that out before I went to drilling. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one started again, because I feel like I've gotten a little low again somehow. Quite lined up like it's supposed to. There it is. Yep, that's where it went. So I got this big glob of goop here. And I got plenty more if this ain't enough. I ain't really worried too much about it. I'm just gonna try to work it till I can get it all around it. This is non-hardening strip caulk, 3M. You just want to get around it and then just kind of close up the hole. If I ain't got enough, I can always get more. Got plenty left. All this came off this thing, so there should be enough to go back with it. I think I put too much on, not enough up here and too much on the bottom. I believe it's going to be this one right here. Looks like it's going to fit. And this is going to go on like that. Now this one's got got a bracket that mounts on this other bracket. We'll go ahead and stick it on. Like that. So on this one I'm going to put this that. I'm actually waiting on one more part to come in. It should be some adapters for this. This is a R12 and I need an adapter to go to 134. This will be your low side port. Over here will be your compressor clutch switch would be here, and it plugs into this green wire, and it don't quite reach. I may have to bend that over a little bit to get that to work. I've got a little 90-degree elbow I'm gonna run, come in and go straight into the carburetor pipe, a little short stubby pipe. So I've got to get a 3/8 line, and I guess that's a 7/16 nut that fits this thing here. Then I'm gonna start running my vacuum lines, PCV lines, and all that stuff, and we'll be pretty much ready as soon as I get the fenders done and on and get the inner fender mounted and the water hoses all hooked up. We're gonna be ready to crank this thing. Hopefully, still timeline wise, 2 weeks, depending on how soon I can get the fenders done and on the truck. And of course I still got a lot to do in the cab. Got a windshield to put in, but it's coming together, guys. So hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't.